In a quiet town in Japan, there lived a 16-year-old boy named Nagi Yumino. Nagi was an ordinary teenager, living in a modest home with his father, mother, and younger sister, Hina. Despite the simplicity of their lives, Nagi was anything but ordinary. He was determined, responsible, and always striving to do his best, especially when it came to his studies. Nagi's motivation wasn't just his own success. He was driven by his desire to impress his crush, Aoi Nakamura. Aoi was the most popular and cutest girl in his class. She was also the top student, excelling in every subject. Nagi admired her not just for her looks but for her intelligence and dedication. He believed that if he could match her academic achievements, he might stand a chance to win her heart. Unlike Nagi, the rest of his family was quite different. His father, Ryo, was a laid-back man who loved spending his evenings watching baseball games on TV. His mother, Hana, enjoyed gardening but often left the chores unfinished, preferring to spend her time chatting with neighbors. Little Hina, at just 8 years old, was carefree and mischievous, always finding new ways to get into trouble. Nagi often felt like he didn't quite fit in with his family. He was the only one who was serious about his responsibilities. His parents affectionately called him their hardworking son, a title they didn't bestow on themselves. This difference puzzled Nagi, but he never let it bother him too much. He loved his family deeply and knew they loved him too. However, there was a secret that none of them knew, a secret that would soon change everything. 16 years ago, on the day Nagi was born, a small mistake had occurred in the hospital. The nurse in charge had accidentally switched him with another newborn. Instead of going home with his biological parents, Nagi was taken home by the Yumino family. The baby he was switched with was not a boy, but a girl named Yuna Takahashi. One sunny afternoon, while Nagi was studying in his room, his mother received a phone call. It was from the hospital where Nagi was born. The nurse on the other end sounded nervous and hesitant, but she finally gathered the courage to speak. "Mrs. Yumino, I have something very important to tell you," the nurse began. 16 years ago, there was a mistake in the hospital. Your son, Nagi, was accidentally switched with another baby. Nagi is not your biological child. Hana was stunned. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. After a moment of silence, she asked, "Then who is Nagi, and where is our real child?" The nurse explained that their biological child was a girl named Yuna, who had been raised by another family. The Takahashis, Yuna's parents, had also been contacted and were equally shocked by the revelation. Hana and Ryo decided to sit down with Nagi and Hina to explain the situation. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they believed in being honest with their children. "Nagi, Hina, we have something very important to tell you," Ryo began, his voice calm but serious. "When Nagi was born, there was a mistake at the hospital. Nagi, you were switched with another baby. You are not our biological son." Nagi was shocked. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "What do you mean? Then who am I? And where is your real child?" Hana took a deep breath and continued, "Our biological child is a girl named Yuna. She has been raised by another family, the Takahashis. They have been informed about this as well." For a moment, the room was silent. Nagi's mind was racing. He loved his family deeply, and now he was being told that they weren't his real family. But then he realized something important. "You might not be my biological family," Nagi said softly, "but you're still my family. You raised me, took care of me, and loved me. That doesn't change because of a mistake." Hana's eyes filled with tears. "Oh, Nagi, we feel the same way. You will always be our son, no matter what." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of emotions and new experiences. The Yuminos and the Takahashis decided to meet and get to know each other. Nagi was nervous about meeting his biological parents, but he was also curious. When the day finally came, Nagi and his family drove to the Takahashi residence. As they arrived, they were greeted by a warm and welcoming couple, Akira and Mei Takahashi, and their daughter, Yuna. Yuna was a beautiful girl with long, dark hair and bright, intelligent eyes. She was about the same age as Nagi, and there was an instant connection between them. They both felt an inexplicable bond, as if they had known each other their whole lives. "Hello, Nagi," Yuna said with a smile. "It's so strange to think that we were switched at birth." "Yeah, it is," Nagi replied, smiling back, "but I'm glad we finally know the truth." Over time, the Yumenos and the Takahashis became close friends. Nagi and Yuna often spent time together, discovering similarities and differences in their lives. Despite the initial shock, they all realized that their bonds of love and family were stronger than blood. Nagi continued to work hard in his studies. Inspired by both Aoi and his newfound sister, Yuna, he realized that his dedication and sense of responsibility were qualities that came from within, not just from his upbringing. And while he still admired Aoi, he learned that true worth came from being genuine and kind-hearted. As the months passed, Nagi's relationship with his biological parents grew stronger. Akira and Mei were kind and supportive, always encouraging him in his endeavors. Yuna, too, became a close friend and confidant, someone who understood him in ways no one else could. One evening, as Nagi sat in his room reflecting on the past year, he realized how much he had grown. The revelation about his birth had been shocking, but it had also brought new relationships and a deeper understanding of family. He felt grateful for the love and support he had received from both the Yumenos and the Takahashis. Nagi decided to share his thoughts with Aoi. He wanted her to know the real him, the boy who had faced an unexpected truth and come out stronger. He wrote her a heartfelt letter, explaining everything that had happened and how it had changed him. Aoi was touched by Nagi's honesty and courage. She admired him even more for his resilience and determination. As they grew closer, Nagi realized that impressing Aoi wasn't about being perfect, it was about being true to himself. In the end, Nagi Yumino learned that family isn't just about blood relations, it's about love, support, and the connections we build with the people who matter most. His life had taken an unexpected turn, but it had led him to discover the true meaning of family and the strength within himself. And so, Nagi continued his journey, surrounded by the love of two families and the support of his friends. He knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he had the strength to face them, and the heart to overcome them.